This is a 1cc survival guide to Eschatos on original normal. I'll be going through a replay for my 1cc playthrough. There is minimal routing involved, but you can probably deviate by a decent amount without being punished. Hopefully, you'll be able to gauge from this replay roughly how many mistakes you're allowed to make for a 1cc. First, let's quickly summarize the game mechanics that we'll need to consider. There's only one ship in Eschatos, but you have 3 different shots: straight shot, wide shot, and the shield. Straight shot is your standard narrow long-range shot type. It's good for taking out enemies from a safe distance or focusing down single targets. The wide shot has limited vertical range, but covers the entire horizontal screen distance. Use this to take out large waves of enemies or for approaching enemies from the sides. The shield absorbs enemy shots while held down. The meter at the bottom left will gradually deplete as you use the shield. When it runs out, you won't be able to use the shield for a bit. The shield also rapidly deals damage, so it can be used to point blank enemies if you're confident enough to get close. Keep in mind that only small bullets will be immediately absorbed. Larger bullets will stall for a bit before being absorbed, so be careful. Don't move against the bullet while it's stalling, or else you'll move into its hitbox and die. The focus and unfocused firing equivalent in Eschatos is implemented by this 3-level speed setting at the bottom left. Pressing the speed button will toggle between the 3 different settings. In general, leave the setting at max speed. There will be a couple of sections in the run where you may want to lower it to the minimum speed to make more accurate movements. When toggling between speeds, your shield meter will decrease by a little bit, but this is mostly negligible. Just don't spam the toggle button and you should be fine. You'll frequently come across these pod enemies. Destroying them will drop this blue F pickup. Running into them will clear all bullets from the screen and deal some damage to all enemies. This is enough damage to clear out all popcorn enemies from the screen. Use these to get out of bullet-dense situations. Occasionally you'll find these Wonder Witch secrets from shooting at hidden locations. These will act like flash items but also provide a score bonus. Don't worry about going out of your way to pick these up. They might put you out of position since they fly away as you approach them. Eschatos is very generous with giving you extends. They'll drop at fixed spots throughout the game, so you won't have to worry about missing any or having to complete any secret objectives for them. You won't have to focus on scoring either. Okay, that should be it for the basics. Let's get into the replay. Stage 1. Use wide shot and stay near the top center. You can clear out most of the section by just sitting still. You might have to adjust your position a bit here since these enemies will fire bullets at you. These enemy patterns will appear a couple of times throughout the playthrough. If they appear in a single straight line, use your straight shot. If they appear in 2 angled lines, use wide shot or shield. Minimize your movements and tap dodge in any direction to avoid their aim shots. There's no real strategy for the rest of this part. Just use straight shot to quickly focus down enemies, or use wide shot to deal with these spread out spawns. Start from one end of the screen and tap dodge to the other end while holding down straight shot. Stage 1 boss. Use straight shot to destroy all these big segments on the rotating UFO. The segments are outlined by green square indicators, so shoot at those. Again, these patterns of purple enemy lines will come in as 2 single lines and then 1 double line. I use shield for the double line to also deal with the incoming bullets. If there are too many bullets on the screen, hold down shield and push forward to clear out a patch, or use the flash item whenever it's available. Once you destroy enough segments, the boss will go into an enrage mode and start spawning these red crystals. They might put you out of position if you chase after them, so if it's too dangerous, then just ignore them and focus on the remaining segments. Final phase, just line up with the boss and use straight shot. It should go down when it fires the green lasers. If you need to, then save the flash item for the lasers. You can also just shield the lasers too. Stage 2. Stay near the top center and hold down wide shot. Enemies will spawn from the middle, left, and then right. Move back down after this. These curving triangular enemies will always spawn from the opposite half of the screen from you. If you're on the left half of the screen, they'll spawn from the right, and vice versa. You can try to manipulate this by staying just left of the center and holding down wide shot. The enemies should all spawn from the right side and you won't have to worry about dodging in both directions. Just try not to cross that center line while they're still spawning, or you'll split the waves. Try to use straight shot to focus down these orbs, but if they start sliding, then switch to wide shot to pin them against the edges of the screen. Again, you can manipulate the spawns for these triangular enemies. These red enemies will probably force you out of position though. Try to take out as many as possible with the wide shot, but swap to shield if it gets too dense. This part can get a bit dense too if you don't have a flash item. You can just hold shield to get through. Mid-boss. Start at the bottom left and hold straight shot to immediately kill the ground enemy that spawns. Tap dodge to avoid these bullets. Listen carefully for the audio cue for when the green lasers are fired. Hold down shield and tap dodge as soon as you hear the sound. You can also save the flash item to clear the lasers. These enemies will home in on you from a tilted angle, so position yourself opposite to them and use wide shot from the sides. Use wide shot and sway left and right to get at a good angle. The enemies will line up with you and then move horizontally towards you. Hold down shield and they'll crash into it. Stage 2 boss. Line up with the boss and use straight shot. Listen for the audio cue for the blue bullet stream. Only use shield if you need to stall the bullets, but don't try to push forward since the bullets are too large to immediately absorb. If you're confident here, this spraying pattern only uses small bullets, so you can point blank with a shield. The boss should quickly go down during this attack if you do this. I just played safe and just go through a few more attack rotations instead. Stage 3. This level revolves around a big enemy with 3 destructible orbs. Stay near the bottom and use straight shot. Tap dodge in one direction. Use shield if you need to clear some room to cut back. Hold shield to cut through this wave of bullets once the camera starts shifting forward. Use straight shot to shoot down these blinking enemies and then focus on the orbs. Try to thin out the enemies here with wide shot while staying near the center, and also just hold shield if you're not comfortable. The falling crystals can make it difficult to line straight shots, so use wide shot to attack enemies through the crystals from the sides. Stay near the bottom and just shield through these waves. Use straight shot and try to focus down these spiral shot enemies as soon as possible. They'll also time out after a bit, so don't feel pressured to chase them down through the falling crystals. Using shield will help you stall through their attacks. Use wide shot to catch the blinking orbs. Be very careful since they can teleport on top of you for contact damage. The safest way to deal with them is with the flash item. I die here from being careless after clearing out all the enemies. Use wide shot to deal with the double lines of purple enemies, or just sit back and hold shield. Stay away from the bottom of the screen when the camera shifts as the big enemy enters, or else you'll die by contact damage. Use straight shot or point blank with shield to destroy the top orb. There's a screen clear after you destroy the orb. Cross the bullet lane while this happens and use straight shot on the next orb. The second orb should go down after firing its top-down laser. Tap dodge to avoid the lock-on shots and lasers. If you're confident, you can also point blank the last orb with shield while tap dodging here. If you do this, the orb will be destroyed as soon as the lock-on shots are done. Otherwise, hang back and hold straight shot. Hold shield to destroy the double line of purple enemies, and then use the flash item to deal with the spiraling spawn of enemies. Stage 3 boss. Line up with a green orb and use straight shot. Prepare the flash item when it spawns. If the bullet pattern gets too dense, hang back and hold shield. Don't push forward. Dodge the green lasers through the big gaps. You should be able to just sidestep these aimed shots. When you see the laser charging, hold shield just in case. If you're not comfortable with crossing these bullet rings, just use shield to cut through. Hang back and hold shield for the spinning laser attack. Don't move forward or you'll die by contact damage from those rods. Stage 4 is a bit tricky, but you also get a decent number of extends here. You can manipulate the spawns of these upcoming enemies, since they'll start spawning from the opposite half of the screen from you. If you stay still, they'll always spawn from the left first. Hold straight shot, tap dash to the right after the spawn starts. They'll come in left and then right. Hold shield and let the circular pattern crash into you. Don't cross over the center of the screen while they're spawning, or else you'll split the enemies. You can use shield to easily deal with any of the circular spawn patterns. Otherwise, just line up with the straight shot and tap dash to minimize the spread of the aimed bullets. I accidentally split the wave here. Immediately use wide shot after the circular pattern to deal with enemies spawning from both sides. Keep an eye on the path indicators and move to line up your shot with them. I die here because I wasn't paying attention to the aim shots. You can easily avoid this by holding shield on top of the circular pattern to destroy both the enemies and their bullets at the same time. Hold shield through this wave and let them crash into you. Try to thin out the enemies as much as possible. When they start moving at you, you can switch to shield. I played a bit too closely here with the shield. A safer way would be to just grab the flash item instead. Hold wide shot while staying near the center to clear out the rockets. Cut through the bullets with a shield. Use wide shot to thin out the waves before they start moving at you. First mini boss. Hang back with straight shot and tap dodge to avoid the aimed streams. Another circular spawn pattern followed by enemies from both sides. Make sure to fall back immediately after the circular pattern so that you don't die from colliding with the side spawns. Second mini boss. Hang back and hold straight shot while trying to align with the boss. These bullets move quickly, so hold shield through these if you're not comfortable with squeezing in between the gaps. Third mini boss. There are 2 targets I'll fire at you at the same time at fixed intervals. Hang back and use straight shot to focus down one first. Get the timing of when they fire and hold shield whenever they do. These bullets won't be immediately absorbed, so don't push forward with the shield. After one enemy goes down, the other will fire more bullets. I die here because I didn't bring up the shield quickly enough. Fourth mini boss, same strategy as the previous encounter. Hang back and hold straight shot to focus one target down. Swap to shield whenever they fire and don't push forward. Hold shield and let the wave crash into you. Space Invader segment. Use straight shot and try to focus the red UFOs at the very top. When you destroy them, you get a screen clear. Pay attention to the purple enemies that curve down at you. Prioritize destroying these first, or else they'll release bullet rings from behind you if they make it to the bottom of this screen. I find it effective to point blank them with shield. Start from one end of the screen and hold straight shot. Slowly tap dodge in one direction. Stage 4 boss. This is very similar to the Stage 1 boss, where you'll need to destroy these rotating segments. Use straight shot to deal with the single lines of enemies, and wide shot or shield to deal with the double lines. Once you destroy enough segments, the boss will go into the same enrage mode as the Stage 1 boss and spawn crystals. Don't chase the crystals if they put you out of position. Focus on the remaining segments to quickly end this phase. Stay at the bottom of the screen and use straight shot to chip away at the blue discs. If a disc moves to the bottom of the screen, one blanket with shield. Use the flash item as soon as it spawns. You'll also get a screen clear whenever you destroy a disc. Continue to hang back and use straight shot on the blue orb. Try to stay in the lanes between the bullet streams, but if the bullets get too fast, just hold shield. After the boss uses this big bullet ring attack, use shield to cut through a lane so that you can continue to line up your straight shot. These green lasers will circle in on you for a bit before releasing. If you time it correctly, you can also have the flash item ready whenever these lasers are fired. When the boss reaches about 10% health, you get a screen clear, and then it will begin rapidly firing. The safest way to end this fight is to point blank the boss with the shield, otherwise you don't get much breathing room to shoot, since these bullets move very quickly. Stage 5. Hang back and use straight shot for most of these enemies. You can also use shield if these red trailing enemies are moving too quickly. Hold shield to deal with these enemies that come in from the sides. First mini boss. Use straight shot whenever possible to fit in some damage on the boss. Use wide shot to deal with these two waves of missiles. If you're not comfortable with squeezing through the gaps of these bullet waves, just hold shield. I find it helpful to lower my speed to minimum here. The boss will be slowly drifting to the right, so make sure you move along with it to not get caught by the left wall of bullets. Your shield won't help you against the pink bullets. Shield through these bullets and lasers, and then the boss should go down soon. Don't forget to raise your speed back to max. Stay near the center with wide shot to destroy the rockets, and then push through the bullets with shield. Careful not to get telefragged by the blinking orbs. Try to catch them with wide shot. It might even be safer to just shield through and ignore them. Second mini boss. You can get some damage in before they start firing. Shield the lasers. Ideally, you'll want to start from one end of the screen using straight shot and then slowly tap dodge to the other end of the screen. I messed up my positioning and opt to go for the flash item while tanking with the shield. Third mini-boss. You'll have to fight a pair of the Stage 2 boss. There's a bit of time at the beginning for you to only deal with one boss. Once the second boss spawns, you'll have much less breathing room. At this point, you might want to hold shield and stall for the flash item. There should be a lot less pressure once you destroy one of them. Use straight shot and focus down one at a time. Aim for the closer enemies first and try to destroy as many as possible. Once the rest of the enemies have spawned, you might want to shield and stall for the flash item. I try to shoot through this, but you can just hold shield for this part. Use straight shot and slowly tap dodge in one direction. Use straight shot and swap in the shield whenever you need to cut through some bullets. Use the flash item whenever it spawns. Fourth mini boss. Use straight shot and try to focus down one spider first. Tap dodge to avoid these aimed bullet streams. The background for this part can be a bit busy, so it might be difficult to keep track of incoming bullets. When in doubt, just hold shield. Focus on the laser indicators and make sure you move into a safe lane. Hold shield while you're doing this so you don't have to worry about the incoming enemies at the same time. If you can line up your straight shot with these yellow enemies, you can destroy them before they get to fire. Otherwise, listen for their bullet sounds and macro dodge around it as soon as you hear it. You can hold shield against these big lasers, but don't rely too much on it since it drains quickly. Try to focus down the orbs as soon as possible with straight shot. I die here because I forgot to hold shield. I should have changed targets here and moved to the right to continue to focus down the first orb, since it was already weakened. Hold shield for the yellow enemies and then focus on sidestepping the big lasers. Try not to absorb the lasers too much or they'll drain your shield. Final boss. The silver bullets will drain your shield, so don't try to absorb them. Hang back with straight shot and stay within the large gap in the middle. As soon as it starts spinning with silver bullets, move to the bottom corner. The boss will follow up with a laser in the middle and then lasers on the sides, while also firing silver spikes. You can use shield to stall the silver spikes, but don't push forward. Hold shield and dodge around the aimed lasers. Only use shield for stalling and not for absorbing. Move to the bottom corner again. Try to save the flash item for when the boss starts firing silver bullets. you get a screen clear for depleting a life bar. Lower your speed to minimum here for more precise movement. You can absorb the orange bullets, but only stall the silver spikes. Keep an eye out for the flash item. Raise your speed back to max. Forget to do this and end up dying here. You'll need the speed to macro dodge around these 3 aimed waves of silver spikes. Try not to take the flash item this early. You'll want to save it for this silver bullet spiral attack, otherwise there's a decent chance of dying here. Lower your speed to minimum and use shield to create gaps between the pink bullets, and die from being too twitchy at the end. Final phase. Hold straight shot. Despite the intense music, I find this phase to be easier than the last one. The bullets are fast, but there are large gaps in lanes. Use shield if you need to create some gaps in these orange bullets. Shield through the lasers, and the boss should go down soon. There you have it, the 1cc run. I think Eschatos can be a very good introductory game for new players to the genre. You don't feel too bad for dying since there aren't any bombs to be wasted or any power levels that get reset. You also have plenty of defensive options that you can freely use without having to worry about using them at the wrong time. Plus, the soundtrack is amazing. So yeah, I hope this video helps you with your 1cc original normal runs. Have fun!